Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. Today I am building a really small one-story home. I was just in the mood to build something like this, and I feel like I don't very often, unless it's a tiny house, build single-story homes. So this is going to be a 2-bedroom family home, and I was thinking it was originally supposed to be just a 1-bedroom, and they converted the garage into a 2nd bedroom for an unexpected addition to the family. I was thinking this was a sim who ended up having their niece or granddaughter move in with them. So I was thinking this was a one sim and his teenage relative ended up moving in. So they turned the garage into their bedroom, and I had a lot of fun with that idea. So I hope you will enjoy how this comes out. If you do and you'd like to download it, it will be available on the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. You could also find it under the hashtag MissGryphi, and that information will also be in the description down below as well. So I really wanted this house to look incredibly simple, kind of generic, but still look really pretty. I wanted it to look like a house you've probably seen a bunch of times before in real life, and I hope I achieved that. I think it kind of gives that vibe off. It's really small, and I had a lot of fun with the floor plan, so I'm excited for you to see that. But right now on the outside, I'm just still trying to figure out everything for the little details. This is the basic shape, but I wanted to add like a little planter box here in the front. I also got the chimney outside, and then trying to figure out what flowers and bushes and stuff to put out here. I do some of the landscaping now, but I do come back and do more of it at the end of the video, so you'll see me kind of skip around a little bit. I also ended up swapping out the windows for these ones from high school years because they just look so good. I don't know how to explain this, but I feel like they just look like the most common basic windows you see everywhere. And so I really wanted to use them here. They are the ones your Sims can sneak out of. So if you want to use that feature, this house has tons of them. I think that's like the only window I used in this house. I might have used something else in the kitchen. No, I did use those in the kitchen. Okay, so it's just those windows. So your Sims can definitely do some sneaking out. And also, since the teenager's room is a room that I was thinking used to be a garage space, there's actually a door to the outside from there as well. So there could be some fun gameplay in this house with the teenager always sneaking out. I think it could be quite a bit of fun. So right here, I am just adding some landscaping and this little side area that kind of leads to that garage space. I ended up putting some trash cans back there. I thought that that was the perfect spot for them because I was thinking, you know, right outside the garage. Granted, it's not a garage anymore, but I did park a car outside. I believe I got this one from Cottage Living. I just thought it looked quite nice. And it really fit with the personality I had in mind for the sim that originally lived here before the teenager moved in. I was thinking it was a male sim who tried to keep everything really tidy and simple and lots of basic colors and all of that. So you'll see that through the interior. It's very clean and simple. There's some like necessary clutter throughout, but I tried to make it very like clean. I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully you'll see what I mean when we get inside. So the floor plan has pretty much come together here. I'm going to be pushing out the wall here for the kitchen to make it slightly bigger, but basically you enter into the kitchen space. The living room is around the corner where the chimney on the outside is, and then we have a little hallway space that brings you into the bathroom and the 2 bedrooms. Which at this point in time, I hadn't fully fleshed out the idea of the teenager living here. I just knew what personality type I wanted for the adult. So I don't originally start planning that out as a bedroom. I just end up having some concrete in there, but I will switch it back out for wood, as you'll see when I very soon add the wood flooring throughout this home. But I also thought at first I was going to use these counters in the kitchen from base game because they just feel really traditional, and that's kind of what I was thinking. But I ended up using the Parenthood ones because they are some of my favorite counters in the game, and I just haven't been using them that often lately. So I decided to switch it up and use those, which I was so happy about. And here I am placing down the wood floor. I ended up using this one from Cats and Dogs, which is another wood floor I just haven't used in a while, but is a really nice one. So I am just trying to figure that out right now. And as you can see, we have the concrete in the garage and not anywhere else, but that will be coming back to be wood floor. But yeah, I really like how I divided this kitchen, where I have that little half wall looking into the living room. I don't know why I wanted to call it the dining room. There isn't really a dining room in this house. which I think is fine. You don't really need them in a lot of your Sims houses. My Sims tend to just like sit on the couch anyway, and that's also where I sit at home, either on the couch or at my desk. I feel like the dining table is just something I don't use unless I'm playing like a board game or playing or like putting together a puzzle. So sometimes I leave those out in builds, and this was a really tiny house, so I felt like it was fine to leave that out. But here I am getting some other decorations in here. I do get a coffee pot, and you'll notice shortly I do end up putting another coffee pot on the other side of the room because I was deciding if I wanted it there instead, but I end up putting the microwave over there. So that will happen here shortly. But I do have one open shelf over here, so I'm just putting a couple of decorations up here. We have a bread box and some of these plants. I also got a dish rack to put by the sink. I kept it fairly minimal in here, just getting some necessities, switching out the bread box for a different one from the country kitchen kit, and then just getting a couple more things. Like I said, I wanted it to be very minimal, but it's still supposed to be feeling like it's lived in. So getting my cutting boards over here. I did get rid of the dish rack. I can't remember if I added it back, but this is where I decided definitively that I was going to have a teenager in this house. So we got the parenthood board that allows you to like set curfews and all of that sort of stuff. I also wanted to make sure to have a spot for coats by the door, even though this is the kitchen. And then I grabbed these curtains from the Dream Home Decorator pack. I think they are so pretty and they worked really nicely in this space. And then I am playing around with rugs. At first I thought this one was going to go in the kitchen, but this one actually ends up going in the living room, and I think it looks so pretty in the end. That's not one I've used in a while. Once again, I think that one's also from Parenthood maybe. There's just a bunch of stuff that I used to go to all of the time that used to be like my favorite items, and I just haven't used them in a while. So it was really nice to use some of that in this space and make this space look really cozy. And I feel like it's just so easy, both in real life and in The Sims, to get a lot of these really pretty blue colors. So I wanted to represent that in this apartment. This isn't an apartment. In this kitchen, in this house, in this very small one-story house. So that's what I did here. So just getting a couple of things on this corkboard. We have a little calendar and a couple of postcards. And that should be it for the kitchen, and we should be moving on into the living room now. I did size down those curtains to make sure that they fit on the fireplace. And I was so unsure on couches in here. And I also, at first thought we were going to use this rug, but then it didn't work. So I ended up going with this one in the end. And I tried so many different couches, but since it's such a strange shape for a living room and it's quite small, it did take a lot of fiddling. I really liked the idea of the couch from the Desert Luxe kit, but it was way too big for the space, so I didn't use that. I tried some couches from Nifty Knitting. You'll see that here shortly, and I thought that they looked quite nice, but they just weren't quite right. I also tried this one from the My First Pet stuff pack, and I get rid of it in the end to try and do this, but not in the end. I do grab it back, and I do end up going with the My First Pet Stuff couch in the end, which I think looks so nice in this space. I wish I had more swatches because it's really like the first couch we got in the game that sort of is asectional. It's not like the ones from Dream Home Decorator, which are perfectly matched together, but it kind of can be attached like this, two pieces, because one end doesn't have an arm on it. So that's what I ended up doing here, and I put a little chair in the corner as well. And then I tried so many different coffee tables, but I ended up picking out one that looks a little bit dated. That's actually from high school years. I think it's quite fun and a little bit of a funky shape, so I chose that in here, and I kept the clutter to a minimum. I believe we got a chessboard on the table, but other than that, the room is very, very simple. So there is that coffee table I had mentioned. I thought it was really pretty in here and brought in a little bit more of the wood tone of the fireplace, but also this lighter wood tone as well. I put a plant over in the corner. We also got this little container of magazines from the paranormal pack. And here is that chessboard that I had mentioned. That is from the clutter kit, and I use it constantly. It's such a good piece of coffee table clutter, and I love that kit so much. I also placed a box of clutter from that kit over in the entryway, and then I'm trying to figure out a bookcase to put behind the couch because it felt like something needed to be here. I ended up going with this one from Base Game. I thought that looked nice, and then I moved the lamp over to be behind the couch just to fill in that corner a little bit. And then, of course, getting some artwork for the wall. I do like to use these Base Game ones and layer them. They kind of clip in the middle, but it looks nicer to have a bigger collection of them, making it look like it's 6 of them instead of 4. I also paired together a few mirrors here over this table and got some just general clutter. I was really going for like a cleaner aesthetic in this space, but I feel like having this teenager move in added a little bit of clutter. So, we just have the little box there. But for the most part, everything is pretty put together. So this is going to be the teenager's room. At this point, you can see that I did add the wood floor in here, and I wasn't sure which bed to use. I ended up grabbing that one and deciding that that was going to be for the adult sim in this household. I thought it was perfect and like very simple bedding you could get at pretty much any store that sells bedding. So that's what I went with here. And then in the teenager's room, I was thinking this was a really sporty teen. So I wanted to incorporate that through the bedding. I also have like this little exposed closet piece over here from high school years. And I filled up the shelves with all sorts of clutter, including like balls for different sports and these sneakers that came with the clutter kit as well. I thought it looked quite nice. I thought about adding a little dresser underneath, but it just didn't look quite right. So I didn't end up doing that in the end. But I did get a bunch of posters in here to really be like, this is our personality. This is what this sim likes to do. And I like to kind of mix and match them. So not everything is sports. So I do have a poster in here that is of the planets, and then I got a little dresser over here in the corner from the Tiny Living Stuff pack to fit it all together. And I forget to decorate it until I'm already working on the other bedroom, so there will be a couple of pieces of clutter I put up there. I just don't remember to do it at first. I also really liked that I have the bed kind of built into these cabinetry pieces, because like I said, I was thinking this originally used to be the garage, and so I thought that those could have originally been there as storage, and they were just kind of left there when this space was turned into a bedroom. I also got some string lights in here. These are from the toddler pack, and I think they look so cute in this space. And then just trying to see if I can find any more decorations to go with the concept I had for this teenager. So we have these trophies and stuff, which are from the kids' room pack. And then I just got a little ottoman underneath it as well. And that's it for the teenager's room. I think it came out really cute. I feel like it's kind of messy and thrown together and has a lot of personality, so I was quite happy with it. But this is going to be the caregiver's room. And like I said, I feel like the bed was really basic. The whole set is put together. We have like a nice car portrait above the bed. I really like how simple this room looks, but how realistic it looks. I don't know if you know what I mean, but it looks like they just bought a whole set from a furniture store, and they got some really simple bedding from literally anywhere, and they put it all together, and that's just kind of how they like their space. And there's the clutter I added to the teenager's dresser. I just got some books and a little unicorn bank. Up here, I just have a couple of pieces, mostly from the clutter kit, because they're just too good. So this little knick-knack box, a hat, a watch, and of course, an actual clock as well. I also hung up a bathrobe in here and put one of these decorative hampers in here so you don't have to play with the laundry pack if you don't want to. And then I also added a little closet piece over here as well as some artwork. And I think that's it for this room. I was thinking they just have a couple of pieces of artwork that they really like a framed movie poster from a movie they really like, and that car portrait. I thought they were like maybe special pieces. They don't typically buy much. Maybe those are from like, I don't know, a Comic-Con or something. That's kind of the vibe I was going for anyway. Let me know what you think. And then this is the bathroom. It's just got a shower tub combo, sink, toilet, your basic things. And I have a weird layout for it because of where the door is, but I think it came out okay in the end. Very, very simple. And then we are back outside. I wanted to make sure to add a basketball hoop out here because I was thinking this teenager was really into sports, particularly basketball, because of their bedding that I chose. So I wanted to add that. And then we're going to be finishing up the landscaping because all I did really was have the pathways and 2 trees. So I'm adding more bushes. I also changed out the columns on the front of the house to get something that has a little bit more volume to it. And then just adding lots of greenery, kind of looking around the world to see what would fit nicely, as I typically do. So you can see me kind of panning out and zooming around just to see what sort of plants I'm seeing off lot to try and make this match as best as I could. But I did mix in some things that weren't from this area. And I also really loved this stone fence I put out front. It's on the side of the house and over here as well. That was from Shalivada Objects with high school years. And I just thought it added something really nice to the home. It's not the same stone, but it's similar to the one that I have on the chimney. So I really liked that. And then just getting some more plants tucked around this. to make it feel like, you know, everything is really intentional and this house hasn't just been plopped here. It's established in its area, and I was quite happy with that. I also really liked adding all these little rocks and that yellow tree in the background. I just think it looks so pretty. I had a lot of fun with this lot, a lot of fun with this build, so I really hope you do enjoy it. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. That really does help me out. You can also subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and click that bell to be notified when I upload. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the screenshots, and I will see y'all soon. Bye, everyone.